Hello, everyone. This is Star Ravenhawk, and Rhonda Allen is, I believe, still trying to come on in. Hopefully, she'll be able to join us tonight. If not, we'll go on with the show as per usual. Okay, and tonight we have a wonderful guest. So if you guys could hold on a moment, we will bring her in. Hello, everyone. And as you can see, we've got Chelle Vroman. I hope I'm saying her name correctly, right?
Yep,
Vroman.
yep.
Okay, there we go. It's a pleasure to have you here with us tonight, and I'm so very, very happy to have you. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. And I'm thrilled to be here and very excited to also be going to Witchfest.
Awesome, awesome. That's actually the reason because this is our spotlighting of you since you're going to be at Witches Fest with us this year, and it's going to be a pleasure having you there. So, what we wanted to kind of do is go down and find out how did you hear about Witches Fest?
Actually, I have followed you on Facebook for several years.
Ah,
And I just happened to be scrolling one day and I'm like, hey, that looks like something I want to go do. It looked like a lot of fun, pictures and stuff from last year. And who doesn't like a good day in New York?
I know, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we were actually, it's so funny. Some of the pictures that you probably saw were the ones that was in the Time Out New York, and they kind of said, what was it? The fashions of the witches or something like that. They said was the
I think, yes, yes.
and all the pictures of everybody. It actually was pretty cool to be in Time Out New York and have all of that there. So it's kind of cool.
Well,
Um,
and like I said, you can never have a bad time in New York.
I
And
know.
with a bunch of witches for the day, come on. So I had to reach out and see if I could get in on some of that fun.
Awesome, awesome. So kind of give us a little bit, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am originally also from upstate New York.
Uh-huh.
I have been practicing for give or take 30 years. Um, I currently live in Salem, Massachusetts, Witch City, USA, as they call it. And I have been really kind of eclectic, is what I would call myself. But am currently involved in a Welsh traditional coven.
Oh, nice, nice. That's very nice. Okay, so what's the name of the workshop? And if you can tell us a little bit about it that you're going to be doing at Witches Fest.
I am going to be doing a cup of spells and intentions, tea magic. I have always loved tea. I used to steal my mother's tea as a small child. Um, everybody has started out with Lipton and milk, and that's where it started with me, Lipton tea with milk in it. And it just, one of those things, you turn your everyday things into part of your magic. And
Absolutely.
everyday life is how you create everyday magic. And when I realized drinking tea every day could be incorporated into my magic, it all kind of came together. And I am also incorporating a little bit of tarot with that. I
Nice.
I am, some call me an addictive obsessive tarot person. I'm working on close to 300 tarot decks.
Oh my
Um,
goodness. Really?
yeah, I have an issue. It is an
Oh my
issue.
gosh. Oh gosh.
Um, and
That's
don't think I won't be buying a tarot deck when I come to Witches Fest, because that's
so
what I
funny.
do.
I
That's what I
know.
do. But I really thought, I started making herbal teas because I have always been into herb craft, but it was more of doing loose incense. And then it dawned on me, I love tea, I love herbs, I want to incorporate everyday things into everyday magic. This
There
is
you
like a
go.
trifecta. So then I started making herbal teas magically, um,
Awesome.
making tea with intention, so to
Yeah.
say, and it just kind of spiraled from there. And now I just think everybody needs to get in on that action, you know. And so I come with some recipes, I come with some samples. Everybody will get to make a little tea bag mixture of their own. I'll bring,
Nice,
three,
nice.
four, 3, 4, 5 different types of ingredients, and give them the magical background of those ingredients, and then they can choose from all of them or a few of them, and take a little tea bag home and give their magic a go.
There you go. That is
I'm
good.
all
That
I'm
sounds
all for making takes. I think when you can take something away physically, that kind of makes it,
stays with you. Yeah.
yeah, it
Tangible.
sticks more. It sticks more.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You're correct about that. But this sounds fascinating, and I can't wait for them to enjoy that with you on July 6th. So you kind of said, I'm going to backtrack this a little bit because I usually would go on to what your next projects are, but I want to ask you really quickly because you said what you practice. So what do you call yourself exactly? Because everybody has different names for themselves, and I don't mean your titles per se, like I'm high priestess or stuff. I mean just Wiccan, I don't know. What do you see yourself as? Druid, who
You
knows?
know that that has evolved. If you would have asked me that question,
Yes.
25 years ago, I would have been like, I'm Wiccan. Um, Now I would really go more with just witch, um, that has Wiccan DNA. You know what I mean?
I think it's
Um,
the other way around, but I know what you mean though.
it I don't really stick to that Wiccan way like I used to 25, 30 years ago, but there's still some of that in what I do, um, which is probably best at this stage of my life.
Okay, okay. But kind of giving, don't forget, Wicca only was formed in 1988. The actual Wicca, as people are calling it and evolving, it was literally 1988. Before that, we were all just witches.
Right. And I
You
didn't really come into paganism and witchcraft and all that until about 91.
Oh,
So
okay, okay.
yeah, so I was kind of, a 91, 92, getting into it about that time.
Right,
So
right.
Wicca was new and all the rage,
Yes, I remember.
basically.
Yeah,
Um,
because I do remember saying, "What the hell? It's Wicca. It just means word just means witch. Why are they saying and Wicca with an A just means a male witch? I'm like, why are they calling it a male witch religion? That's because that's what the word itself means. So it was just fascinating. It took me a bit of a culture shock there for a minute there before I realized, okay, they just formed their own thing, and with that, and they went with it. So it
well,
is
yeah,
what
and,
it
and
is.
that's why I said now I would, back then, in 91, 92, 93, I didn't realize that Wiccan wasn't some ancient thing. Now I am older and wiser.
Yes, yes, you kind of went with like, okay, but it has evolved into something else entirely. But it is what it is, such as life. Things evolve, right? And they grow. Um,
Absolutely.
so I'll leave it there at that. So I don't go more into that part with people. Okay, so what projects do you have coming up that you could think about?
Well, I am going to be in upstate New York in September,
Hmm.
and that is going to be for Central New York Pagan Pride Day. That will be a lot of fun. I am doing a more tarot heavy workshop there. So if that's something folks are into, definitely get on that train.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and I am working on some things for the winter and the fall, waiting to get them solidified before I announce them.
right.
But I do co-host a podcast, Back on the Broomstick, with my best friend Layla, and that comes out weekly, so that's been fun. Um, and right now, I'm just kind of living my summer and trying to get stuff moving.
Yeah, yeah. It'll be fun. Can't wait.
Fall and winter are kind of are my big presentation times. So I'm just kind of solidifying things for that. I'm looking to return to sacred space. I did that this past year. Looking to return there in March. Um, so things are coming, folks. Keep an eye
Yeah,
out on my
yeah.
Instagram.
It's interesting as you mentioned pagan pride because um Pagan Pride New York has not been around for a bit recently, in the recent years. I
You
think the
know,
time was
I
right before the pandemic, I believe, was the last time before. After that, it has not been back.
I was at the very first New York City Pagan Pride back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I believe.
Ah, okay.
And I think it was either right before or right after 9/11. But I
Mm,
haven't been to a New York Pagan Pride literally since the very first one.
wow. Okay. Okay. I don't remember if I made it to the first one, but I do know I used to help them run it too at one point, and then it just was just too overwhelming after a while. But yeah, it's I hope they can come back because it'll be nice to not just have just us alone, Witches Fest alone. So, um, it would be
But
nice to see them.
I think that they are good events to kind of, you know, give people a comfortable place to go and meet others and
Right.
kind of, have those conversations that they might not otherwise be able to have with their close inner circle. And, it's a way to network. It's a way to meet people. It's a way to find out about events. Um, you know, you might fall into a coven by going to a pagan pride. You never know. Um, they're just good events overall. Fun, good time, good way to spend the day. And even if you're not in New York City or Salem or upstate New York, they're everywhere in every state.
Right.
So,
Right.
so September, it's always September, right?
Yeah, it's usually I think the third Saturday in September it used to be, but we haven't had it here in years. So it's a shame. I hope it can come back.
That
So
would be good.
how can people get a hold of you?
Well, we have a Back on the Broomstick Facebook account titled Back on the Broomstick. You can find us on Instagram, Back on the Broomstick. You can email me if you want to email me directly. It's Chelle at backonthebroomstick.com. And you can tune in. New episodes get put up on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes on Fridays, but you can also binge the catalog as well.
All right, thank you. So thank you so much for being on the show. It was again a pleasure having you here, and I can't wait to meet up with you at Witches Fest on July 6th.
I'm so excited and I am
Yeah,
appreciative as you couldn't believe for having me. I can't wait.
yeah. All right, thank you. And we will see you shortly. Thank you. All right, everyone. So it is astrology time. And I was really hoping Rhonda was going to be able to check in with us, but she was having a bit of internet issues. But in the meantime, I am here and I'm trying to do both the technical end and everything else with you guys. Okay. So we will begin with the astrology time. Okay. So for July, okay, the astrological forecast is basically saying, welcome to the second half of the year. And for July, it brings two new retrogrades. The summer's second full moon in Capricorn will cause changes for all of the personal planets. So all zodiac signs can look forward to some fresh and exciting energy shifts as they approach the heart of summer. Cancer season is in full swing throughout the bulk of July, so emotions are flowing and hearts are extra tender. But we are going to look at July through the lens of its major astrological events that's coming up. So, as all of the zodiac signs are going to be into, let's see, the heart of summer with a boost of cosmic confidence. So, let's get with the details just a bit. And so you can see where it's going to go. So, it's going to begin with what is it? Neptune retrograde, which begins the month with yet another outer planet joining the retrograde brigade. This time, it's the numerous and elusive planet Neptune, which would be it kind of begins moonwalking on July 2nd all the way through. That's a long time to December 7th. So that retrograde, Neptune retrograde, usually it's for about 5 months per year, and this is the being the planet of dreams and spirituality. This backspin is a helpful time for you to kind of look beyond the facade of your fantasies and kind of connect with your intuition more directly. Thankfully, because Neptune orbits so far away from the sun, it affects usually a bit more subtle than some, other than, so it's not as chaotic a retrograde as some of the others are. And then Mercury enters Leo, which is like 2 hours after Neptune stations retrograde. That chatty planet Mercury enters fire sign Leo, where it will stay for the next few weeks. With confident and charismatic Leo, Mercury inspires you to speak your truth proudly, express yourself more creatively, and trust your thoughts and wholeheartedly. It's a great time for fun social engagement and feel good conversations. Then we have, let's see, the sun will be swimming through the emotional waves of watery Cancer throughout the first 3 weeks of the month. And one of Cancer season's major highlight is the sweet new moon that peaks on July 5th. And we also know, right? July 5th, Independence Day. Or is it July? Yeah, July 4th, right? Okay. I see I've got that mixed up because I've got the new moon in there with you guys. So astrologically speaking, that new moon on Independence Day weekend is less about fireworks and more about getting in touch with your feelings. Hey, yes, emotional times. So the new moon in Cancer kind of finds the zodiac's two luminaries coming together in the moon's home base sign. So it's going to heighten everyone's sensitivity and deepen emotional awareness. This is a beautiful kind of lunation because it will help you prioritize self-care, building new emotional bonds with others, and allowing your heart to get a little more tender. Okay? Then let's see, we have romantic planet Venus, which will follows in Mercury's footsteps on July 11th and steps into the glamorous and gregarious realm of Leo for the remainder of the month. With the planet of love and beauty in fiery Leo, turn the volume up in your charisma and be a little bit more flamboyant about how you express your affections for others. Let's see, dote on your partners lovingly, embrace your generosity, and confidently approach dating and relationships. Just saying. Okay. Passionate planet Mars also shifts signs mid month, but not before it stirs up that cosmic chaos a bit. It's got to do something. It'll conjoin with wild card planet Uranus in Taurus on July 15th, injecting some unexpected twists and turns into everyone's desires, behaviors, and impulses. Just a little bit of chaos. And these two planets only link up in the zodiac every other year, but it'll be more than 75 years before they do so again in the sign of Taurus. So this one is that Uranus in Taurus on July 15th, 75 more years before that happens again. So that's pretty rare. Both mental planet Mercury and love planet Venus shift into that in that certain third part of the month. So prepare to welcome more confidence and boldness in communication and relationships. And the last week of Cancer season will be by then in full cosmic action. On July 16th, Mercury in Leo will enter its pre-retrograde shadow period, a precursor to the Mercury retrograde that begins on August 1st. And I want you all to kind of pay attention to the themes that come up in communication or logistics through the latter half of the month, as you may be reviewing them again during the retrograde, just so you know. So pay attention. Motivated planet Mars sparks up surprises when it aligns with unpredictable Uranus on July 16th. And when that happens, then it enters inquisitive Gemini on July 20th. And that's going to kind of boost everyone's multitasking ability and giving conversations more oomph and, productivity. And then that's going to be followed by a glorious full moon in Capricorn, rising the following day. And that's the second of two back-to-back full moons in this industrial earth sign, reminding you that hard work does pay off. I mean, it's going to have you multitasking anyways, right? So kind of go with it. Then on July 21st, the last day of the Cancer season, July's full moon will rise in the pragmatic and ambitious earth sign, as we said, Capricorn, sometimes known as the buck moon. And this lunar moment gives you an additional opportunity to connect with and take action on your professional plans, financial aspirations, and tangible goals in general. And it's kind of time to think practically and get more productive if you can, okay? It's time to kiss any summertime sadness goodbye, because on July 22nd, the sun is trading in Cancer and diving in with the fun loving and flamboyant energy of Leo. So you can think of this solar shift as the official, like, you hear what I'm saying? The official astrological harbinger of the hot girl and guy summertime, okay? As Leo season finds the sun in its regal home sign throughout the heart of the summer. And it's a fabulous time to step into your confidence, take pride in your accomplishments and talents, and be a little bit bolder in how you express yourself. Allow your inner superstar to step into the spotlight and let your light shine. So shine your light brightly and refuse to let anyone make you dim it. Don't dim it for anyone. Okay, it's your time. Leo vibes reign supreme, but everyone gets their first taste of Virgo's perfectionistic and improvement focused energy as fleet footed Mercury is making yet another move this month as it enters its home base sign of Virgo on July 25th. And that logistic oriented planet thrives when it's in the sharp and analytical realm of this observant earth sign. So the last week of the month is a great time for getting more granular with your plans, expressing yourself with clarity and thoughtfulness, and tackling some, let's see, organization projects, anything that you want to kind of put into that part. Keep in mind, Mercury will station retrograde in Virgo during the first week of August. So use this detail oriented energy to wrap up any loose ends on projects or lingering conversations before the backspin begins. Then, with all that retrograde going on, Chiron kind of joins in. Okay, so the month began with Neptune retrograde, and it's going to wrap up with yet another planetary backspin as a wounded healer Chiron stations retrograde on July 26th. It will moonwalk its way all the way through to December 29th. And Chiron is, again, just a reminder, is that minor planet that symbolizes people's tender spots and their ability to heal. And its annual retrograde periods are helpful for tending to old wounds and processing any painful experiences that happen during the first half of the year. So don't run from your sensitive spots over the coming months, as facing them will bring you a greater sense of empowerment and independence. So that's it for the month of July. And you got a little taste of August there as well. And we will go straight into our next half of the show, or next bit of the show. Okay, so it is tarot time. And I want you guys, okay, because July, the next time we come back, we don't have a show next week. Because it's going to be right before Witchsfest, and I will not be able to function, and neither would Rhonda, because we'd be too much in Witchfest mode. So I want you guys to think. So when we come back in July after Witchsfest, we're going to get started with some of the different astrological signs and taking you guys through the rest of the month that's there. But for now, go through all of the things that I kind of mentioned. Was there anything that peeked out at you in particular or was brought to your attention in particular? And I want you guys to pull one tarot card and see what it says for you that's coming up for the month of July. That sounds relatable in any way. Just one card. And don't tell me you have a bunch of jumpers, okay? You guys love to, to say, well, this one jumped out too. I don't want you to just take one. I've got one, forget the jumper. I got one sticking together and not letting go. But it's interesting. Okay, so I've got the Star. And I love the way that this card is, because she looks at the same time, yes, there's a lot of emotions and everything. And we did mention this Cancer is playing a big part in that. There's a lot of emotions, and the way that it's set up. She's dealing with a lot, but at the same time, she's handling it. She's keeping it balanced. And she's kind of saying, we can handle all of what's coming to us. And she's also being that carefree part that was mentioned. She's basically saying, run with it, you know, run with it. Let, even the seagull that's there. It's all about just kind of running wild with the time, embracing the summer for what it is, taking on everything throughout the month of August. That's, again, you saw that there were a lot of major and astrological events happening all within July, like all back to back, one behind the other. The different two different retrogrades, the back to back full moon that's in the Earth sign. I mean, all of it all together. And then Chiron, the wounded healer. So there's a lot that's going on, and kind of pay attention to see what comes up for you and what it reminds you, and whatever card you pulled for yourself, see how it relates to things for you, and going forward. Okay. And I will see you guys next week. And I'm sorry, again, I said there will not be a show next week, but we wanted to thank Chelle Vroman for being with us here tonight. And for everyone that's in the chat, we want to say thank you for being with us. Sorry, I'm not as attentive to the chat as Rhonda usually is. And hopefully you enjoy the show. And if you do, please like and subscribe and share us on YouTube and Facebook so that we could keep doing what we do. We love doing this with you guys. And we love hearing from you. So please let us know some of the things you would like to see or hear us touch on. And we will see you guys after Witchsfest in July. I believe the second Friday in July, the second week end of Friday. So I will see you guys, and take care, and see you then. Have a wonderful time until then. Take care.